Day in the life of the United States aircraft carrier Franklin. A story of appalling disaster and magnificent heroism. An ordinary Pacific battle day until, in the words of her skipper, Captain Gehres,
just after we had started launching the planes, a Japanese bomber came out of a low cloud directly ahead and hit us with 2 bombs.
The first blast set fire to the petrol tanks containing 100-octane spirit. 23 planes on the hangar deck below went up in flames. Hundreds were killed instantly as the first white-hot blast swept the deck. Munitions were flying everywhere, all over the wide expanse of the carrier's flight deck. Men fought to save their ship. U.S.S. Miller came alongside. The flight deck elevator was ripped off in the blast and threw men and planes the full length of the ship. But there was no panic. Survivors looked after the scores of wounded. More than 1,100 men were lost or injured. Probably the greatest loss on any American ship in the war. Wounded were being transferred to the U.S.S. Santa Fe when another terrific explosion shook the Franklin. The fight to save the ship seemed hopeless, but her crew would not abandon her. On the nakedly exposed flight deck, Father O'Callaghan, the ship's padre, administered last rites to the dying. Around him, the fight went on. The Franklin reeled under new explosions. No man aboard knew when the next explosion would occur. The flight deck was a shambles, scarred and blackened. Below were huge petrol tanks, torpedo racks, ammunition magazines, and the ship's own fuel supply. An aircraft carrier is the most vulnerable of all ships to attack, and most explosive and inflammable when hit. Men already exhausted and weary of the struggle kept on in face of almost certain death. They would not give up. They would not give up the ship. Now, thrilling scenes of rescue as the carrier appeared doomed. The U.S.S. Hickok came up to the fantail where part of the crew was trapped by flames. These men stood heroically through 3 hours that seemed a lifetime. Tense, terrible moments as they prepared to jump to the other ship. It was early afternoon before the fires were brought under control. The Franklin still floated. Amazingly, she began her journey home. Sheer courage saved her. Her men kept faith with the Navy battle cry, "Don't give up the ship."